6:40 in the morning. I've got my first load of hot oil on today. For today, it is my 4th load of the week. This is Wednesday morning, and thought I'd bring you guys along on this one a little bit. I parked currently here alongside the road. I needed to cool off a tire, but we'll kind of walk around the truck here real quick and just check things out a little bit. Kick on my tires. Yeah, I did that earlier, but I'm doing it again. You never know. The old sun is just starting to come up this morning. Early morning twilight. You see those lights back there? See that grain elevator on the skyline, and maybe you can see the water tower. This is Greensburg, Kansas. Little fun fact, this is the town I was brought into this world at. This is where I was born at 55 years ago. And we're currently headed south to Coldwater. We're not going to Coldwater. We're going to turn at Coldwater and go east over through Medicine Lodge, and we're going to a little town called Sharon, Kansas. And I'm gonna deliver our oil there. They're paving an old highway north of Sharon. And anyways, a little fun fact about Sharon, Kansas. Sharon, Kansas is where a famous country music singer grew up, Martina McBride. So yeah, we're headed there. It's kind of cool. But when I climb back into the cab of the truck, listen to the music I got playing. I'm not going to play very much of it because I don't want to get a strike from YouTube, but I've got Martina McBride on, Wild Angels. If you've ever heard that song, it's probably my favorite song that she's got. But anyways, we'll bring you along on this journey a little bit, glimpses here and there. Okay, well, hopefully that doesn't get me in trouble with YouTube, but anyways, we will bring you along. There's not a lot to see in the dark, so it'll probably be plenty daylight by the time we get to Sharon. We still have an hour and 13 minutes to go, another 74 miles, so I'll bring you back in a little bit. just wanted to read you guys some information here. I back up the road when I was there at Greensburg, the town where I was born at. That town was hit by a tornado. Shoot. And I'll just read to you what I found here on the internet. It's been a while and I couldn't remember. Greensburg, Kansas was hit by a devastating E5 tornado on May 4th of 2007. This storm destroyed 95% of the town's buildings and killed 11 people, leading to the description of the city being wiped off the map. It was the first EF5 tornado recorded since the enhanced fajita scale was implemented earlier that year. So, just thought I would share that little fun fact with you guys. That, yeah, I remember that. I was, back when I was hauling crushed cars, I was hauling a lot of cars down to Texas, and I would come right down through there on 183, and I remember going through there like a week after that happened, and there was a lot of dump trucks hauling garbage to the landfill that week. a lot of activity cleaning up that mess. I don't think there was anything left standing except the grain elevator. It didn't look like it hurt the grain elevator at all. But anyways, we will turn you back around here for just a little bit. be too blinding on the camera, but we are fixing to go through Medicine Lodge, Kansas. We are going east on 160. Business districts down through there. Their little Chevy dealer, which isn't much. Ten more miles to Sharon. Okay, we're stopped along the road here again. I had to cool another tire off. My coffee's just going through me, but let's see if the sun is not too bright this morning. But we are here at Sharon, Kansas. And little fun fact about Sharon, Kansas. This is the little town where Martina McBride grew up. The famous country music singer. You guys know her or heard of her? I'll take you down here and show you this sign. Little town of Sharon, Kansas. Home of Martina McBride. Takes down, there's another sign down here. So, a little fun fact, my closest claim to country music fame back in the 90s, back in my single years, I dated a girl from Nashville, Kansas, whose older sister sung in a duet. I don't know if it was here at Sharon at a little bar and grill, but anyways, her older sister sung in a duet with Martina McBride before Martina McBride hit the big time. Sharon, Kansas is like 20, maybe 30 miles north, I think, northwest of here. And yeah, that's my closest claim to country music fame. Anyways, we are about an hour early. I'm supposed to be here about 8. And from where my truck is parked back here, I have to turn left and go north up this road. It's called Tri-City Road. And I might have to go about 8 miles north up that road to deliver this load of hot oil. So anyways, we will bring you along on that. Looks like it's a sandy road. I guess they started and worked their way north. That's just asphalt that's covered with sand at the moment. So we will be back with you.
You have arrived.
Just sitting here waiting on them to come get the second half of my oil load. I think I've mentioned in previous videos that them big wind towers are a scam. What I mean by that is, oh, they make electricity, no doubt in that. They're doing what they're supposed to do. It's the cost of them. They're too damned expensive. By the time that they pay for themselves, they're wore out. If they could put one of them things up for $100,000, that would be another thing. But that's what makes them a scam. They're too expensive. They say they're green. You know how much petroleum they have used in putting that thing up? There is a lot of petroleum being used just in the construction of them things, not only putting them up out here in the country, but back wherever they're made. All the concrete that they're putting in the ground to erect them on, all the diesel fuel that's been burned. Yeah, there's nothing green about them at all. So that's my little rant for the day. Okay, I'm on my way back to Dodge City from Sharon, Kansas, unloading oil there at Sharon. And I'm going to show you a little something here along the way, and I'll just put you up and I'll talk to you here in a little bit. Look at all them whirligigs. See all them up and down there? I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about that. I'm currently parked here along the road with my hazards on, and I'm gonna read this to you. The guy that made all these whirligigs, his name is McBride, and we are at Mullinville, Kansas. And through my entire life on this planet of 55 years, I have been through here, I'm gonna tell you, thousands of times. Driving or riding with somebody else. Ever since I was a tiny little kid, I can remember seeing all these whirligigs alongside this road here at Mullinville, Kansas. So I'm gonna read this article to you about the guy that made all of these whirligigs. Political art of McBride. For over 25 years, McBride voiced his opinion to travelers along US 400 with his hand-built art. The sculptures, hundreds of them, stand 3 rows deep and stretch along MT's former property line for more than a quarter mile. I'll be blatantly blunt with you, he told us. What's out there along the highway pisses a bunch of people off. Well, maybe a little. Former Kansas Treasurer Dennis McKinney has his face in a toilet with a sign, "Out to lunch." Former Governor Bill Graves is a fat, decapitated rat. A porta potty is labeled Mullinville Town Council Chamber. The Kansas State Board of Education is portrayed as a head shoved up a human ass. The term outsider art has been diluted by decades of academic message, massage, and collector mainstreaming, but MT stayed true to his personal and caustic punk art vision. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, MT told us. I don't have any agenda. His flapping, whirling, and static metal sculptures are set on poles some 20 foot tall. He was born on the property in 1930, and aside from some years in the military, lived in Mullinville all his life. MT's workshop was an old barn with a dirt floor around the corner from his pasture gallery. His tools were a plasma cutter and an arc welder. His material was metal, junked farm machinery, car parts, road signs, railroad equipment. If I just think of something, I make it, he told us during one visit. Chalking the design on the metal, then setting to work with the plasma torch. You draw it out, cut it out, and that's it. MT was a big man with ill-tempered gray hair, large, weather-beaten hands, and a sharp, gruff voice. Most people, they ain't got no guts, he told us. You gotta have a strong opinion or you're nothing. MT's speech was as blunt as his attitude was cantankerous. When I put up a piece of art, I don't ever ask anybody if they like it or they don't like it, he told us. If you like it, that's fine. If you don't, I don't care. Some people do not like McBride's art, or rather, they don't like some of his art. Everyone enjoys his windmills, gyros, and whirligigs spinning in the prairie wind. Almost everyone appreciates his fanciful creations, his grinning dogs, ancient gods, chicken in boots, Most folks enjoy his many exaggerated representations of his former girlfriends, such as Tokyo Rose, a blonde who he met on the Tokyo Ginza when he was in the Navy, and Marilee, the honey-haired enchantress. Where MT ran into trouble is with his political art. He called them totems, but really they're cartoons carved in metal, human caricatures with long, warty noses, buck teeth, pot bellies, giant feet, and balloon butts. The two President Bushes, for example, are dismissed as bureaucratic maggots and political hoes. Hillary Clinton holds a communist hammer and sickle, and her body has been replaced by a large Nazi swastika. Was MT worried about people might be offended? Absolutely not, he said. It doesn't bother me the slightest bit. Despite his posturing, MT was proud of his art and enjoyed being appreciated for it. In 2016, we stopped by his workshop for an unannounced visit, always a dangerous thrill, but were warned away by a neighbor who said MT was in particularly bad mood. So we called MT in early 2017. He told us we shouldn't have listened to his neighbor. I don't like talking to people who are ignorant by choice, he said, but if you got brains enough to talk to me, I like to talk. We told MT that his highway artwork seemed faded and rusty. He told us that he had been in poor health, which had forced him to neglect his roadside totems. This was confirmed by Rosalind Schultz at the Grassroots Art Center, who told us that MT had been warned by his doctors years ago to quit making art. MT said that he had already arranged to have his artwork turned over to thoughtful people when he died, and that if they throw it away, that's their business, I won't know about it. Nevertheless, MT said that dying wasn't something that he worried about, and that he hoped to put some new art out by the highway. We asked if he was inspired by America's current politics. He said, man, I'll tell you, he said, if the politics of the day inspire you, you've got to be sick in the head. MT died 6 months later on August 17th, 2017. The Kohler Foundation is currently cataloging and restoring MT's art, nearly 1,000 pieces, on site. The totems and whirligigs still stand out by the road. And there are plans to convert MT's old workshop into a visitor center. Interesting. So I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna take a little walk, and I'm gonna take you along with me to see these whirligigs and totems. I'm not gonna possibly show you every piece. There is way too many here, but I'll show you some. Got the Frog Man. Look at that one there. Half Moon Hank, the sign says. Like I say, I'm 55 years old, and I can remember seeing these ever since I was a tiny little kid. They've been here a long time. And it looks like way down there they've got one that's fallen over. It looks like at one time when he was in control of this, he had gates here where people could go in, but they have since padlocked the gates shut. But very interesting. And I'm guessing all the junk out in the pasture was his rows of stuff too. But I better get going. I have a load of anhydrous to go haul, so I got to run back to the trailer yard and drop this oil tank, hook up the anhydrous trailer, and run a load of anhydrous over to Garden City, Kansas. So we will be back with you a little while later. Go clear down there to the river and past the trees and on up to the pasture fence corner line there.